Hello all, welcome to Advanced Engineering Physics, Quantum Mechanics Part 8. This is Dr. S. Deepthi, Assistant Professor in Physics, Department of HNS, MLR Institute of Technology. Today, we are going to learn about effective mass of an electron and its significance. In the previous video lectures, we have learned about the Cronin-Penning model and the EK curve, EK diagram. So, how the electron jumps from valence band to the conduction band and how the gap pertains, how it is going to have the effective mass. So, what do you mean by effective mass? Effective mass means the mass of an electron changes as it moves from one orbital to another orbital, or one energy level to another energy level. This is what is called as effective mass of an electron. Now, let us have a effective mass of an electron. What is effective mass of an electron? When an electron accelerates, its mass changes. When the electron does accelerate, it does accelerate in a periodic potential, right? Periodic potential means when an electron is in a crystal or when an electron is in a particular atom, it always jump from one energy level to another energy level, right? So, today we shall have the effective mass of an electron. So, the mass acquired by the electron when it is accelerated in a periodic potential is called effective mass of an electron. It is denoted by m star, right? When the electron is accelerated by a electrical magnetic field in a periodic potential, the mass of electron is not a constant, but it varies with respect to the field applied. So, the varying mass is called as effective mass m star. Okay. So, what we can say about mass means just we have confined that it will have some numerical value, right? Yes. So, it changes with the acceleration. Let us have the derivation, how the m star arrives, right? So, consider an electron which is accelerated in a periodic potential and it is denoted by Bloch wave. The velocity is given by Vg is equals to, okay, the velocity is given by Vg, this velocity is known as group velocity. Vg is given by d omega by dk, where omega is the wave number, right? So, since the electron energy E and the accelerated frequency omega are related by the equation E is equals to h cross omega, right? E is equals to h cross omega. Now, what about Vg? So, let us have Vg in terms of E. Vg is equals to d omega by dk means we have to substitute in this one E by h cross, 1 by h cross dE by dk. This equation becomes Vg is equals to 1 by h cross dE by dk, right? So, the electron, when an external force is applied to the particular electron, external force is applied, then what happens? Then there will be small work done will be there, okay, on the electron. So, here up to here, what we are going to do, we have found that when an electron is accelerated or when an electron is in the periodic potential, we have confirmed about its group velocity and the electrical energy is equals to h cross omega. So, we have Vg is equals to 1 by h cross dE by dk. Now, when an external force is applied, some work will be done. Okay. So, the work done is equals to dE is equals to F external into Vg dt. A small work done is equals to the rate of change of work is equals to force into applied acceleration, like that, F into Vg into dt. Okay, d is equals to F external into Vg into dt. This is the external force applied. So, now, according to the quantum mechanical Bloch treatment, the of the Bloch electrons, what happens here? The Bloch electrons can be derived with the external force is equals to dk by dt is equals to F external by h cut. Okay. So, substitute dk by dt in this equation. So, dE by dt is equals to F external dE by dk into dk by dt. Just we have taken d by dt is equals to just splitting this splitting d by dk into dk by dt. So that is equals to de by dk into dk by dt. We can write as f external by h cut. Got it? So de by dt is equals to de by dk into f external by h cut. Now what shall we do? We shall have the de. So de is equals to, okay, de is equals to de by dk into d by dk into f external by h cut into dt. Just we have changed, we have just sent dt to the other side. Okay. Now what to do? Equating. Which equations have to be equated? This equation 1, let us say this is 2. Okay. So equating these two. Both are d's. Okay. Now equating. So f external into vg dt is equals to de by dk into f external by h cut into dt. So what happens here? Vg is equals to, now Vg is equals to, what happens here? Vg is equals to 1 by h cut. What are the remaining 1 by h cut? F external dt dt cancels. Then 1 by h cut de by dk. We got here. Up to here. So next. So up to here you got to just refresh the page once again. Okay, so Vg is equals to what we got here? Vg is equals to 1 by h cut de by dk. Okay, so what we know need to do? We need to get our acceleration. So for that purpose, the de by dk can also be taken as, first let us have the acceleration. A is equals to, the acceleration is equals to, acceleration from our classical physics, acceleration is equals to rate of change of velocity. So dvg by dt, right? Acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. A is equals to dvg by dt. So that acceleration now is equals to 1 by h cut d by dt of de by dk, right? One by h cut de by dk. Right. So up to here, is it okay for you? Right. Now applying chain rule. What to do? D by dt is equals to dt by dk into dk by d by dt. Sorry. Okay. So d by dt can also be written as dt by dk into d by dt. Is it okay? So now the acceleration A is equals to 1 by h cut. In place of d by dt, we write as dt by dk into d by dt of de by dk. Okay. So what happens here? 1 by h cut d square e by dk square. Okay, d square e by dk square into dk by dt. Here dk by dt. 1 by h cut d square e by dk square into dk by dt. Right. So the dk by dt can also be written as d square e by dk square into f external by h cut. Right. We know that dk by dt is equal to f external by h cut. So what to do here? Here 1 by h cut d square e by dk square. Let us have f external 1 by h cut square into f external. This is the what we have obtained over here, right? 1 by h cut square d square e by dk square into f external. So now what is f external? F external is equals to f is equals to m star a. Let us consider m star a, where m star is the effective mass. Okay, f is equals to ma. We know that f is equals to ma. So m star a. So here we'll do, right? M star a is a. F external is equals to m star a. M star a is equals to 1 by h cut square d square e by dk square, okay, into f external. So a is equals to f external by, once again. So here a is equals to f external by m star. Okay. So now substitute over here. F external by m star is equals to 1 by h cut square d square e by dk square into f external. So cancel f external on both sides. So here we shall have f external by m star is equals to 1 by h cut square d square e by dk square into f external. Okay now, right? So this f external get cancels, and what is the final equation that we have obtained? M star is equals to h cut square by d square e by dk square. Okay now, this is the final equation of m star, which is known as effective mass of an electron. So what is this depicts? M star is the effective mass. This depends upon the wave number, on the energy and all, right? Now let us have the significance. So the effective mass of an electron, m star, is inversely proportional to the second derivative with respect to the wave number in the EK diagram. So EK diagram curvature, let us have the EK diagram curvature. So see the curvature, this is the EK diagram, and in the EK diagram curvature, we have the conduction band and valence band, and here the electrons are there, here the holes are there, right? So here we shall go with the with this one. The effective mass is inversely proportional to the second derivative with respect to the wave vector EK diagram. Near the bottom, the energy band EK curve is concave up to d square e by dk square is greater than 0. Here near the curve, this is concave. Then what happens here? Okay, resulting in the positive effective mass. These electrons behave as normal free electrons are accelerating in a direction of the force. Near the top of the band, what happens here? Top of the band, like valence band, is maximum. EK curve goes down, resulting in the negative effective mass. These electrons accelerate opposite to the applied force. This behave with the positive charge and positive effective mass. This is the concept of effective mass of an electron. So now, what is the significance? In a crystal, an electron is not truly free. It moves through a periodic potential created by the atoms. An atom creates periodic potential when an atom combines close together with another atom. Then the energy levels will be separated each other and forms a periodic potential. And the electron moves in the periodic potential from a higher value to a lower value and lower value to higher value and so on. Okay. The effective mass m star accounts for this interaction, describing how the electron behaves as if it were free but with a different mass. So F is equals to m star A. So m star tells us the electron responds to the external forces, electric and magnetic field inside the crystal. So the electron mobility, it also determines what is its significance. It represents the influence of crystal lattice, and it also determines the charge of carrier mobility. Electron mobility mu depends upon inversely with the effective mass. Mu is equals to E transpose by m star. Where E tau means E tau by m star. E tau means the mean free time between the collisions. Smaller the m, higher the mobility, better the electrical conductivity. Okay, smaller the mass will have the smaller the mass of the electron means will have the more acceleration, better the electrical conductivity. In case of semiconductors, we can see, right? So this is affects the band curvature and energy dispersion, and also explains electron hole behavior, right? So 1 by m star is equals to 1 by h cut square d square e by dk square. The curvature in the EK diagram tells about m star. Larger the curvature, smaller the effective mass. Easy acceleration, smaller the curvature, larger effective mass, but sluggish motion. That means the electrons will move very slowly, right? So it also explains the electron and hole behavior. So at the bottom of the conduction band, the curvature is positive, m star is greater than 0. And at the top of valence band, the curvature will be negative, m star is less than 0. A negative mass electron behaves like a positive hole with a positive mass. A key concept in semiconductor physics. How the holes are created, how the bands will be obtained, we'll see in the next slides. Okay. What about here? Determines the optical and magnetic properties. It also, the effective mass determines the optical and magnetic properties. Since the acceleration also provides us, what does the acceleration tells us? Acceleration of electron tells us about its effective mass. But it also not only just, it also tells about the effective mass only, not only that one, but it also signifies the optical and magnetic properties also. Optical absorption. The effective mass influences how the electrons absorb photons and move to the higher energy bands. Okay. Cyclotron resonance. In magnetic fields, the cyclotron frequency depends upon m star. Okay, now cyclotron means it is a, what we can say, it is a mechanical thing where the electrons will be moving around. Okay. Importance in a device design. So what is its significance? Finally, we are having the significance in transistors, LEDs, solar cells, and material performance depends upon how easily electrons and holes move, directly determined by the effective mass. Engineers choose materials with suitable m star for desired speed, conductivity, and efficiency. So, what you have learned now? The effective mass of an electron bridges the microscopic crystal structure with the macroscopic electrical and optical behavior. It tells how the free an electron feels inside a solid and controls how effectively it responds to the external forces. Thank you.